Big in the body, attacking, and hasn't given Chris the chance to get into this fight. He's been so complete.
In all 3 rounds, Eric Vasquez unofficially scoring it for Spence and going down to Jerry. The 5th round scheduled for 10. Spence trying to stay undefeated. He's in the black and gold. Now Jerry, basically here at home, he has fought outside of the state of New York only 1 time. That last round, and he goes down again. Spence does it again.
He's not going to be able to take too much more of this.
And Spence trying to finish it here. He has a wounded brain, he knows it. And Spence puts him back down, and that's it. That is it. Errol Spence Jr. remains undefeated with the knockout of Chris Action.
Left hand, right hook, uppercut, sends him back. Another left hand and a knockdown shot.
What balance?
Here he comes. Backs him up with a left hand again. Horns in the corner. Uppercut lands. Crawford on the attack. That's it. It's over. It's over. We celebrated an undefeated triple count winner in New York today. And now a triple division world champ here in Vegas. Bob Crawford on top of the world.
I'm going to show stats. That is the most he's ever allowed a fighter to hit him with.
Spence continues to attack the body mercilessly. Kelbrook having difficulty with that left eye, pawing at it with his glove, wincing in pain.
Thank you, sir. You got it.
So while Triple G fractured his right orbital bone, Errol Spence making a mess of Kelbrook's left eye here in this championship fight. And you wonder how much more he could take. He's taking a knee. And he does it in impressive fashion now.
Errol Spence did what people...
Did you know Teofimo was going to beat Taylor? I didn't think he was.
Oh, launching left hand. That backs up Kaliaskis. Not an uppercut. An absolutely brilliant uppercut. Best closers in the business. Let's watch how he does it here. One punch. That's it. Bob Crawford, title defense.
Between me and you, my friend.
Ninth round knockout in a thriller. Far more drama than we ever thought we would have.
Right now, Errol Spence and Sean Crawford want to make a definitive statement to his final round. These 2 guys can very well determine who comes out on top. Pressing the action against Spence along the ropes. Look at Porter go. Oh, they are picking it up and they are swinging for the fences. Stop, Neither guy wants to move. Neither man wants to get one each. Nope. Halfway mark of the 11th. Shot to the body by Spence. Shot pulled. They are both non-stop. Look at this. All right, hook. And there is Spence straight left. That connects for Spence. Stop. And that's one thing that happens in those wild exchanges.
stood on his feet, but not coming forward and firing at Crawford for the moment. That's an overhand right, and another combination. Beautiful work by Crawford. Magnificent accuracy by the champ. He does damage. Kenny's on the apron, and he's stopping the fight. His father says it's over. Terence Crawford has just stopped Sean Porter. No man has done that.
The variety of punches and the variety of the
come up with some of
combinations
these great
Spence is
questions
throwing
and
is
just forget them.
special.
Come up with all these great questions and I forget them. Once this moment is good time. And then if you do look to your phone, it kills the whole momentum. But at least
And Errol Spence Jr. showing explicitly why he is able to put this kind of crowd in a venue this size. He is putting on a show. The right eye almost completely shut. And Errol Spence Jr. intent on shutting down the title reign of your Denny Zugas. And boy, referee Cole wants to make sure we don't forget about him tonight.
Oops, chat, my bad. Oh no, it's talking to. Yeah.
Errol Spence Jr. just not only closed the eye of your Denny Zugas, but closes the show with a clinical effort here tonight, showcasing why he indeed is one of the best boxers on planet Earth.
He said it was the biggest fight of his career.
Spence's punches sound so heavy.
And so far, he's looked very strong here against that Jerry. Certainly a tough and well-conditioned opponent.
I don't know if he's that comfortable at the weight anymore.
Digging the body, attacking.
That's when he was
That's giving Chris the chance to get into this fight. He's been so complete.
Yeah.
Rounds, Eric Laskin unofficially scoring it for Spence and going down to Jerry.
He's got the heavy-handed
Fifth round
time.
scheduled for 10. Spence trying to stay undefeated. He's somebody.
We're good?
Jerry, basically here at home, he's on the side of the station.
That head returns to the center though, man. That head returns to the center though. I know the gloves are up. I know he's catching, but the motherfucking head always is right back there on that center. Like, it's gonna be a good fight. The only thing that could have spoiled this fight was Crawford's legs a couple years ago, and they're gone now. So we're good to go. Was that you?
No.
Remember the postal
this might
fight?
be Amanda's other camera.
Oh.
He had those legs on him. It's spoiled. It's just win. But I don't think, as you once legendarily told me about Ward before the COVID, he doesn't have those cards in his deck anymore. So.
Amanda?
Okay.
I remember Dave. What prompted that was Dave was asking me, can't Dre do like Floyd does in this rematch with Cobra? No, he don't have those cards in his deck. He's got to get inside, take an angle. What he did.
Not really, actually.
You got to be hot.
Yeah, that's an awkward angle.
You have those Floyd roll shifts.
I should have told you it was that way, sorry. Was there one that way too? Oh.
Get away with murder on the outside with that shit. Worst thing, I have my tripod.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get started. Please take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody over here by the banner, please take a seat. You guys go ahead and take the empty seats and stay away from this banner here. Thank you.
When they did a lot of something, and they proved that, but they didn't. That is a lie. They said that. No, there's no data saying that. Okay, I looked this up, and I'm not looking on Google. So I know the text and the messages that are out there.
Well, and I just not.
Cuts it down to a point where it's not I mean, think about it. We'll be fine. Yeah, but
No, I wouldn't have known this. I would have
Ray of light come through.
Yeah, but when you make a guy wait, he's gonna die. He's not I can't believe this one. Oh man, I don't know what he's asking for. Very long time. That's in the bad thing. Right, a lightweight. Yeah, so good. When he did that, it wasn't the mano de piedra, it was the mano de marshmallow. No, but I'm saying though, certain times, carry that punch. You can't go on. Yeah, but when you try to like, and I work it out. No, but that's not the same thing. If you fight the guy, it's not your way. See, I know you should have been a lawyer. Yeah, we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, no.
No, I just know that these shit was a lot. That's all.
That's the happiest I've ever seen him.
Errol Spence Jr. is one of the best boxers on planet Earth. And down goes Terence
You got the 3 belts. What's next?
And now the unified welterweight champion of the world.
Everybody know who I want next. I want Terence Crawford next.
I do believe this is the perfect time. You got 2 great fighters in their prime for all the marbles. It's going to be an exciting fight. I just can't wait for it to happen.
That's the fight we all want to see.
There's been a back and forth a lot with you and Crawford.
I don't want to always smoke, but right now, I'm looking at Terence Crawford.
For undisputed, this is a big moment for not only myself, but for Errol Spence Jr.
Saturday, July 29th. We're going to crown you first. 4-belt undisputed champion in 147-pound history.
Wait is over. Watch me fry this speech.
Yeah, I know what time it is, baby. Terence, I'm coming for that motherfucking belt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to New York City. Saturday, July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. The undisputed welterweight championship of the world is on the line between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence "Bud" Crawford. And now, let's meet the champions.
We're not ready.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage with a record of 39 wins, no losses, 30 wins coming by way of knockout. He is a 3-division world champion from Omaha, Nebraska. Please welcome the reigning and defending WBO welterweight champion of the world. Here is Terence "Bud" Crawford.
Gilbert, strap baby Gilbert Arenas. Keep it timing like Pam and Gina. Fact is, I'm that nigga, you gon' have to face it like Neutrogena. Nothing you can do to stop me, I'm in my own lane, you can't slow me down. I guarantee that if I'm the one to...
What? You can cut out that other shit.
Hey, yo, hey.
Yeah. Run it up, Rondo. Run it up, Rondo.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a record of 28 wins, no losses, 22 wins coming by way of knockout from DeSoto, Texas. He is the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF welterweight champion of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Errol the Truth Spence Jr.
She slowed it down for me at 7. Used to think Pepsi was a guy before he went to heaven. I knew what Pusha T was before Gunna even said it. Hey, C0 taught me keep my weapon. Ain't never trust a nigga or a bitch cause it's expected. No
Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, the undisputed welterweight championship of the world is on the line. Someone's zone's got to go on Saturday, July 29th on Showtime pay-per-view. Presented by Premier Boxing Champions. It's Spence Jr. versus Crawford for welterweight supremacy.
Big shout out to them boys and I can't forget back in Texas. I've been feeling like Luka, how about that shit a blessing. Number one rule in Texas, keep it solid, ain't no telling.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford, both men looking to remain undefeated on Saturday, July 29th on pay-per-view. Now we would like the fighters, both Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, to take their seats. They will be joined by their camps, including their head trainers, Derek James for Errol Spence and Brian Bomack McIntyre for Terence Crawford. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to conduct the Q&A, we present to you the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, Brian Custer.
Thank you, Ray. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to New York City, the Big Apple, for this press conference kickoff, Spence Jr. versus Crawford. I am Brian Custer, host of Showtime Championship Boxing, and man, what a year it has been for the sport. What a year has it been for Showtime Championship Boxing and Showtime pay-per-view. You know, our motto is deliver to the fight fans what they want. The best fighting the best. We started the year with Benavidez Plant. We had Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, and now the super fight. The best fighting the best. Errol Spence Jr. taking on Terence Bud Crawford. It is one of the most anticipated fights of this decade. It's a super fight, champion versus champion. Both of them unbeaten. And the key is both fighters are in their prime. The winner, not only making history as the first undisputed welterweight champion in this four-belt era, but also walks away with the crown as boxing's pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. The fight is Saturday, July 29th, Showtime pay-per-view from T-Mobile Arena in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. It is one of those era-defining type fights. And I'm talking in the spirit of Ali Frazier, Leonard Duran, Hagler Hearns, and of course Mayweather Pacquiao. It will, without a doubt, enhance the legacy of these two elite world champions. And the event is being brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. It's being promoted by Man Down Promotions and Errol Spence Jr. and by TBC Promotions, Terence Bud Crawford Promotions, and TGB Promotions as well. It goes without saying, folks, this is the place you want to be in on July 29th in Las Vegas. You want to have a ticket to say, I was there. I saw when those two went at it. You can purchase your tickets through AXS.com. AXS.com. Here's the particulars. Terence Bud Crawford, the WBO welterweight champion. He's unbeaten. He's 39-0. He's got 30 knockouts. Taking on the Truth, Errol Spence Jr., the unified WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight champion of the world, unbeaten as well. 28 victories, no defeats, and 22 knockouts. Together, these men have an astounding combined record of 67 wins, no losses, and 52 knockouts. AXS.com is where you get your tickets. Let me bring to the podium now one of the promoters of this fight. He's the president of TGB Promotions, Tom Brown.
Thank you, Brian. Good morning, everyone. I'll make this quick today so we can get to what we're all really here for today, and that's to hear from these two great world champions. But like I said yesterday at the LA press conference, this fight really is as big as it gets. We have the two best fighters in the world, both undisputed world champions in a generational fight. We haven't seen fighters with skills like this at 147 pounds since Leonard and Hearns. Now, Terence Crawford became the undisputed champion at 140 pounds back in 2017, and now he's got a chance at history by becoming the first two-weight division undisputed world champion. But one thing's for sure, the winner of this fight will be the undisputed pound-for-pound king of boxing. Thank you.
Coming to the podium now, the man who's going to give you more details about the fight, all of the programming that will surround the televised portion of the pay-per-view of the evening. He's the president of Showtime Sports, Steven Espinoza.
Thanks, Brian. I agree wholeheartedly, and I don't think there's any real discussion to be had. It's been a fantastic year for Showtime Boxing. Big fights, meaningful matchups week after week, together with our partners, Premier Boxing Champions and TGB Promotions. We put on 17 marquee events through July. 3 dates in February, 3 dates in March, April, June, and July, giving the boxing fans exactly what they're looking for. Coming up this weekend, we've got Tim Tszyu on the schedule. Looking forward for July, we've got Boots Ennis and Frank Martin headlining. In the middle of this great run of fights, this industry-leading schedule, we've got this fight, the one that boxing fans have been waiting for, a mega event. I've described this as the perfect fight, and I think it is absolutely true. That's no exaggeration. We have every element the boxing fan would want. Two of the best, most skilled fighters in the sport, both of them with aggressive, fan-friendly, all-action styles, knockout power. It's an evenly matched fight. At various points over the last few weeks, the odds have swung in favor of both Spence and Crawford. There's high stakes, there's history, there's legacy, there's overcoming adversity, there's personal drama, there's a rivalry. Long and short of it, this is everything a boxing fan could wish for at this point. Errol won his first title in 2017 with an 11th round knockout of Kell Brook. He's had 6 successful title defenses against outstanding competition. Lamont Peterson, Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Yordenis Ugas, among others. One of the strongest resumes in the sport. Terence Crawford won his welterweight title in 2018. Also made 6 successful title defenses, all of them by KO or TKO. And in fact, Terence has stopped his last 10 opponents in a row. And now he's looking to become the undisputed champion in a second division. But really, don't take my word for it about what this fight is about. Let me give you how you guys, the media, have described this. A matchup that will decide supremacy. the biggest event the sport can offer, a matchup to perfection, the most exciting fight this decade, an opportunity to become a superstar. That's what's at stake July 29th. It all kicks off with the first episode of All Access, Saturday, July 8th, second episode, Saturday, July 15th, and of course the pay-per-view, Saturday, July 29th, at a special time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you.
It's time to hear from the camps. First, let me acknowledge on the Crawford side, Bud Crawford's assistant trainer, Isaú Dieguez. Good to have you, my friend. Coming to the podium now is the head trainer for the WBO World Champions. This man is the co-owner of B&B Boxing Academy in Nebraska. World-renowned trainer, he is Brian Bomac McIntyre.
What's up, everybody? Glad everybody came out to the press conference to support this big fight coming up. Thank Showtime, Stephen Espinoza, BBC, Errol Spence, Derek James. I especially want to thank my man, the champ, Bud Crawford, for putting his foot on the pedal, for making this fight happen. So I really ain't got too much to say that more than what I said yesterday. But I will tell you this. This is how the fight gonna go. The fight is gonna be tough. It's gonna be real tough. Errol's a good ass fighter. And I took my hat to him for what he accomplished in his boxing career. I took my hat to you, Derek, man, for doing a good job with your fighters. The first couple rounds are gonna be real tough. But then we're gonna start walking away with the fight, like we always do. Like my man said, Bud to stop the last 10 opponents. Just maybe, Errol gonna be number 11. So listen, y'all tune in, July 29th. Get your tickets. Y'all gonna miss something if y'all don't attend. Y'all gonna miss one of the most spectacular performances that you ever seen come out of Bud Crawford.
Okay, Bomac.
Thank you, Bomac. Now from the Spence side, let me acknowledge as well the father of Errol Spence Jr., Mr. Errol Spence Sr. See you there. Good to see you, sir. Jordan Isom as well here. Let me bring to the podium now, he's the trainer of the Unified Champion. 2017 Ring Magazine Trainer of the Year. 2019 Sports Illustrated Trainer of the Year. And also the 2022 Boxing Writers and ESPN Trainer of the Year. He's the owner of the world-class boxing gym in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Derek James.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. This is a very exciting event. I can't wait. I mean, I think it's something that everybody's been hoping to see, wanting to see. Now, it's not here, but everything is going on. Everybody's in camp. Can't wait to get it started because I know that Crawford's coming on with his A game, and Errol's going to be on his A game. You're going to see a phenomenal competition. And for me, I'm really kind of tired of talking about it. It's like, it's work time. So I can't wait. And I know it's going to be a phenomenal night of boxing. I'm going to see Errol Spence shine. As he says, the thing that really gets me going is that one-sided ass-kicking that he normally puts on. And yeah, we're fighting a phenomenal fighter. At the same time, we're going to be who we are. Errol's not going to change. He's going to put the pressure, break him down, he's gonna win the fight. No different than anything else, anybody else. Even though this is the best and most accomplished boxer in boxing, is Terence Crawford. 135-pound champ, 140 undisputed champ, and 147 WBO champ. With all that said, that's beautiful because we are here now, 4 guys standing on the podium, and everybody's watching. And they're gonna come out and see a masterpiece, and Errol Spence put together another phenomenal victory over another tough and very vicious and deadly fighter. It's all about being successful. That's what it's all about, and that's what you'll see on July 29th. Errol Spence becoming the undisputed champion of the world, just like the first day when he walked into professional boxing. It's exactly what he said he wanted to do. And that is exactly what he'll be. July 29th is the first ever, in this era, 4-belt undisputed champ. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Listen, you came here to hear from the fighters. Let's get right to it. Come to the podium now is a man who's got a 76% knockout percentage. Moved up to welterweight. You heard it. He has stopped every man he has faced since he's been at 147. Folks, this man is the former undisputed super lightweight champion of the world. He was the 2014 Fighter of the Year. He is the current WBO welterweight champion of the world, Mr. Terence "Bub" Crawford.
What's up, everybody? Let me say that again. What's up, everybody? That's what I'm talking about. I gotta be excited for this fight. This is a fight that's been marinating for years. Like I said before, I'll say it again. This is greatness. This is definitely greatness that you guys will be witnessing July 29th. I've been preparing my whole life for this moment right here. Moments like these, they don't come often. And this is my time. Like I said before, this is my time. This is the Terence Crawford era. Ain't no holding me back. Not Errol, not Derek, nobody stopping me from accomplishing what I want to accomplish July 29th. A lot of people say why it took so long. Doesn't matter, we're here now. And July 29th, I can assure you, I can promise you, y'all gonna walk away and y'all gonna say, that kid is special. And y'all gonna mark me as one of the greatest of all time. Right along with the Floyds, the Alis, the Fraziers. And y'all can sit there and say, oh, well, you ain't fought nobody. And my reply to that is, I guess Errol is just another nobody that I fought.
Thank you, champ. Come to the podium. This man has a 78% knockout percentage. 6 of his last 7 opponents, former world champions. 3 of them were current world champions. He took away their straps. He is the unified welterweight champion of the world. He's known as the Truth. Big fish, man down, Errol Spence Jr.
How everybody doing today?
Good.
I feel like this is the biggest fight in boxing. If you look at Terrence's style, look at my style, you already know, if you know our mentalities. He's not going to want to break. I'm definitely not going to want to break. But I feel like somebody got to break come fight night. And we need all y'all to support us because, I mean, we got to show these people in suits, we got to show these other fighters that there is a reward in taking risks. So the best gotta fight the best, and we gotta show people that, especially people in suits and these other boxers, that you fight the best, it's a reward for that. You know, and I'm just grateful to be here, man. Very blessed for this opportunity to be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world, and fighting a great fighter like Terence Crawford. I'm ready to put on a great show, a great performance, and show people how great I am, and show people why I will be one of the best welterweights ever of all time. I'm telling you, do not want to miss this fight. This is going to be a great fight. I'm putting on a great show. I'm going to show everybody why I be breaking people. Make sure y'all tune in July 29th. It's going to be another man down, and it's strap season time.
Thank you, champ. Let's talk. Let's talk about this fight. Start with the trainers. Bomac, you said without a doubt, your guy is going to win on July 29th. Enlighten the people. Tell us why you believe Terence Bud Crawford is going to win this fight, and you believe a stoppage.
Brian, I want to ask you a question, and everybody else out there. What beats ready?
What beat ready?
What beats ready?
Stay ready.
Been there and back. We've been there and back. We've been undisputed champion before. We've been in this position before. So this ain't nothing new to us. We just being more prepared because we know Errol's a good fighter. But we've been there. We've been in these lights before. Now, PBC, I commend them for getting Errol to this point. But we had to scrape through the dirt to get to undisputed at 140. We had to scrape through 147 to get to this point. So we was ready 10, 11 fights ago. We just going through the motions to pick up those 3 straps that he got over there in the Palladium title. This is why I know that Terence will be victorious July 29th.
Derek James, your rebuttal to that. Tell us why Errol Spence Jr. will be victorious July 29th.
Well, Errol Spence will be victorious because of the way he was brought up. He was brought up to be in the space that he's in because of the way he was developed. Each opposition being better and better and better and better. It wasn't like beating guys you were supposed to beat, beating guys everybody knew you were going to beat. So at this point, every fight he's fought was a step towards this day, this night, July 29th. That's what it was all about. From him saying he wanted to be undisputed champion of the world when he started, to every step that Al and TGB, Sylvia Brad, every step they took towards Errol being the man that he is, facing the tough opposition, building more depth. Because this is like, we talk about skill, both fighters are skill, this fight is about depth. Who can endure the tough adversity that these fights is going to put them in through, and at the same time, somebody's faced these things, and some people haven't faced these things. And like what I'll say is that depth is the key. Depth is what the thing is going to push you through when you're tired, you get beat. How much more pain can you endure? The pain of being unsuccessful is far more worse than the pain it takes to be successful. So we push him through the pain, we're going to be successful. And that's why he'll be champion, again, undisputed champ on July 29th, because of everything he went through to get to this particular point.
But what does the victory on July 29th mean to you specifically, especially coming against Errol Spence Jr.?
Well, a victory July 29th for me means everything for me in my career to date. Being that a lot of people doubt me, and that's when I rise to the occasion, when I got all the odds stacked against me. Errol's a tremendous fighter. Like I told everybody before, I'm a fan. It is just business. I know I can beat him. I feel I can beat him. I see myself beating him. I visualized it numerous and numerous times before. Fighting Sean Porter. I told him, I said, listen, they only want to gauge me for Errol. I knew this time would be here, and I'm ready, more than ready. So when that time comes, July 29th, and my hand is rose, and I'm the new undisputed welterweight champion of the world, all I'm gonna say is I told you so. That's it.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't it your mother's birthday as well?
That's right.
Did you promise her something?
You know I ain't losing on my mama's birthday.
Errol, same question to you. What does it mean to be victorious on the 29th? But more importantly, what does it mean to get that victory over Terence Bud Crawford?
It means everything. I mean, I feel like I've done everything I said I was going to do. And now the only thing, last thing to do is to beat Terence Crawford. Yeah, he's a great fighter, has great ability, great willpower. But he's a great man too, but I'm going to break him. And I'm going to show everybody why I am the best fighter in boxing, period. And show everybody why I am the #1 guy in boxing. Yeah, he's going to come and fight, but I'm going to break his will. I'm going to break him mentally, physically, and just show people why I am a great fighter. Despite what I've been to, the adversities and things like that, I always kept on the same path, and to be the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. It's been a lifelong dream of mine. It's something I've been wanting for a long time, something I've been clamoring over. And regardless of any situation, I always stayed the course and knew that this fight was going to happen and that I will become victorious.
Errol, let me follow up on that. Because listening to Bud, he says, listen, you may talk about his resume, but he's been undisputed before. So this is nothing new to him. Therefore, he's coming in, already been there at the pinnacle. This is new to you. Your response to that?
I mean, that's cool, but I'm not the guy he fought to become undisputed. I'm not that guy. You know, I feel like that guy was not that good. You know, Regis started him in the first round too.
Two-time world champion.
Regis started him in the first round too, man. Like, who that guy beat to be a two-time world champion?
He beat 2 champions.
Who?
He beat Troy Arnowski and he beat Ricky Burns, which was a 3-time world champion.
Troy who? Come on now, man. Come on.
And I think he went to Russia and beat him. And I think he went to Scotland and beat him. Then
come on, man.
He tried to be great and come to Omaha and beat me. I don't think you fought nobody that was a 2-time world champion.
We ever been tested, he got stopped.
I don't think you ever fought a champion that was two-weight divisions, right?
It doesn't matter. All the titles I took from the champion. So what you saying?
Okay.
Every title I took, Sean Porter, champion.
He was a one-time, one-weight champion.
It don't matter. I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Well, you got the opportunity.
Like I said, you line them up, I'm gonna knock them down every time. It don't matter what happens, personal life, whatever. Hey man, give me him. You sure you want him? Yeah, this is easy work. Get him out of there.
This ain't no easy work.
Hey, you want him? Yeah. Oh, I know it's not easy work. I definitely know it's not easy work.
Okay.
I definitely know that. I ain't that naive. I'm realistic.
I love this because one of the things you made when we were in LA, Bud, you said, hey, look, this guy is so-called the big fish, but I'm gutting him on July 29th. Talk to us about that.
Well, you know, I like to go fishing. Everybody know those are my hobbies.
Man, that's cat. He's not catching me with no fishing pole.
Hey, listen.
I'm big. He ain't catching me with no fishing pole. What does it look like catching Moby Dick with a fucking fishing pole?
They all been caught before.
Man, not with no fishing pole.
Every last one of them. And July 29th, he gonna be caught too. I got a big enough hook for him. I'm already reeling him in. July 29th, I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna put him on the bank. I'm gonna gut him and I'm gonna fillet him.
You like I said, submarine.
All right. We're gonna catch him. Well, matter of fact, we already caught him. We just reeling him in right now. And July 29th, that's when we're gonna get him to the bank. Probably weigh him, you know, put him on a scale.
You ain't got scale, bitch.
Chop his head off. Cut him from, you know, the gut, the little butt up. You know what I mean? Take the little vice grips, pull the skin off, take the little knife.
You don't even sound good.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you. Y'all like fish? How many of y'all like fish?
I love fish.
I bet your pops like fish too. You like fish, don't you, pops? Come on, you can say you like fish. You know what I mean? Your son a big fish, so he love fish too. You know?
No, I'm Jamaican. I smoke.
We gon' we gonna give his pops.
Yeah, we Jamaican, man. We smoke bud. You already know how that goes. We vegan bacon too, so we gonna smoke your ass up.
Hey, y'all do
bacon too, so we gonna roll you up and smoke you up too, man. Hey, y'all get that new bud strain.
Hey, but you know what the crazy part about it is? You know what I mean? Y'all do smoke bud in Jamaica. I forgot. But this ain't that. This ain't no bud. This ain't no kind bud. You feel me? This ain't the bud that you just can buy on the streets. It's that marinated bud that you hit one puff, you might be seeing stars like how high. Just know.
Terrence, man,
he talking about the whack. We don't do that.
You're victorious on the 29th. You will be.
We don't smoke whack.
The first male to be undisputed in 2 different weight divisions.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
Well, it's gonna mean everything to me July 29th. And I can guarantee you, July 29th, you're gonna see a Terence Crawford that you have never seen before. Everybody always asking me, is this the best Terence Crawford? And I said, no, I got a lot to show. Errol may be that fighter to bring the best out of Terence Crawford. We shall see.
Errol, he said he's going to show him the 29th that this is the Bud Crawford era. What are you showing on the 29th?
Man, he can show what he want to show. You know, it might be his era after this fight. You know, after I beat him, you know, he might go on and, you know, win other titles and go up the weight class and win some more titles and, you know, do what he do. But he's not winning July 29th. So he can go and stop that nonsense.
What does it mean to you to be the first undisputed welterweight champion in this 4-belt era?
It's great. I mean, it means everything. This is what, you know, we laced up the gloves for. This was, we used to watch, you know, as an amateur, you know, I used to always watch the old school fights and, you know, just glare them over and be like, man, one day I'm going to be in a fight like that. And I used to watch something called Legendary Nights from HBO where they're talking about Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, not the fights, just the events that happened before the fight and showing the press conferences and the weigh-ins and showing the training camps and how it was. So, you know, I'm finally in the same scenario that the fights I used to watch back then. And it's just a great feeling, man, just to be in those shoes and, you know, seeing that and seeing everything come into existence and knowing that I can be the first ever undisputed welterweight champion of the world. And, you know, despite all the disses and the back and forth I go with Terence Crawford, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, there is, you know, it is a respect there, you know, for him. But all that comes out the door once it's fight night and before the bell ring, but once the bell ring, the respect definitely goes out the door. And it's wartime. It's time to fight. It's time to put on not only a great show, but it's time to prove everybody why I am a dominating fighter.
Guys, I only really have one question for you. And this is for, obviously, the media here, people watching. Hell, they're streaming this in Times Square right now. So for all those people in New York City, all across the country, people spend their hard-earned money, pay this pay-per-view, come out to Las Vegas. Terence Bud Crawford, what can you guarantee they're going to get on July 29th? Because Errol Spence Jr. says he's breaking your will that night.
Well, that makes for a great fight. So July 29th, everybody, if you ain't got a ticket, if you didn't get a chance to get a flight to Vegas, buy the pay-per-view. You got two young, hungry lions going head-to-head for the throne. Errol Spence is a tremendous fighter. I'm a great fighter. He's accomplished a lot at the welterweight division. I accomplished a lot in the sport of boxing as a whole. This is the fight that everybody's been yearning for, and me and Errol coming together and making this fight for y'all, knowing the type of styles we both bring in to the table and the caliber of experience and technique that goes forth into training and coming to put on a great performance for you guys. He's gonna bring it, I'm gonna bring it. He's gonna try to break my will like he said he is. I'm gonna try to break his face. So that makes for a great, exciting fight. You know, he's always in exciting fights. Me, myself, I'm always in exciting fights. And the best man will win July 29th by the pay-per-view.
Let me cut to the chase. You've stopped everybody you faced at 147. Do you stop Errol Spence Jr. on July 29th?
If he get out of line, I swear to God, he gonna be the number 11.
Errol Spence Jr., same question. For all those people coming out to Vegas, buying the pay-per-view, this man says, you get out of line, he's stopping you. July 29th, what can you guarantee these folks are going to get on the 29th of July?
Well, he already know I'm getting out of line. I've been getting out of line my whole life, so it is what it is.
About to put you in your place.
Hey, you're going to have to try. You're going to have to try, I guarantee you that. But like I say, man, y'all got to come out and support this fight. You can come to the fight or order the fight, man. We got to support these fighters out here. I'm gonna tell y'all stories out of LA Fitness, and I was running, and then a guy had stopped me. He was like, "Man, I bought your high-ass shirts," and he was just talking about how my shirts was high, and I was talking to him. We was just chopping it up, and I was like, "That's crazy. You complain about my shirt, but I'm sure if you go out, you go somewhere nice, you'll buy a Louis Vuitton shirt for $800, $1,000, and you never complain." And that same guy who owned Louis Vuitton and own these high-end fashion places wouldn't even give you the time of day or even talk to you like I'm talking to you, right now. So, I mean, I'm just asking everybody to show some support and show people and show, the business boxing people and, everybody that, that it is a reward in taking risks. Just like how if you go to these basketball games, football games, and pay $20,000 to sit front row and get these seats and nobody's complaining, support these fighters, man. Because this is how they earn their living. They literally putting their life on line to give y'all a great show. They literally losing brain cells and could lose their life for y'all. So, support us, please. Come out to the fight, watch the fight. Everybody talk about this fight. These are two great fighters fighting each other. We bringing it back. It's been a great year for boxing. And for me, this is the best fight in boxing, especially style-wise. So let's just everybody tune in, man. It's gonna be a great showing by me. I'm sure he's gonna put on a great show and try to put on a great performance. But like I said, I'm the biggest. He ain't catching me with no damn fishing pole. I'm flipping his whole boat. I'm sinking him. Better come with a submarine, the USR, China, everything. But like I said, man, I'm the biggest shark. I'm Moby Dick. I'm the king. Ain't nobody stop me. Strap season, man down. Make sure y'all tune in. Y'all gonna see another great show and another performance.
I did catch it. You saying man down on the 29th?
Man down, strap. Man, I know the motto. Man down, strap season. Line them up. All that, man. Big fish. The biggest.
Fish fillet.
Hey, man.
Fish fillet.
Smoking on bud.
There you have it. It is July 29th. It is the
Put them in the dirt.
anticipated fight of the year, really of this decade. It is Errol Spence Jr., Terence Bud Crawford. Guys, let's get a face-off. Let's put the belts. Let's get some face-off. Get the cans as well. Thank everybody for watching as well.
I got my Patrick. Got it back, Patrick.
Good. Back to the photo, please.
Yeah. And turn my mic back on. Turn my mic. Go ahead. And we gotta know where. I mean, we get 3% to these organizations. I mean, we gotta know where this money going to. I mean, a lot of times they get. Man, you got Canelo and Josh and all these guys, you know, making $50 million, and these belts getting 3% of that. Where's it going to? How's it helping the fighters out? What are they doing with it?
You're going to face out first. You're going to face the TV cameras all the way in the back. You're going to face out first, then you'll go face to face. All the way in the back first, guys. Jordan, thank you. Yep. Terrence, all the way in the back, TV cameras up top.
Technically, it's like 9%.
All right, guys, now right down here in the front row, please. Right in the front row. Right here, guys, right here. All right, let's please go face to face now.
It is. It is.
Sir. Yes, sir.
It is.
Guys, down. Yes, sir.
Keep it going, Sam. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it a little bit more.
Yes, sir. It's work time.
You good, guys? Hold on.
It's work time, y'all.
All right. Good.
It's work time. Let's turn out and face the front. Work time, y'all. It's work time. Cameras in the back again first. All the way in the back, please. Bomax, we're ready for you.
Hey, hold on, I don't know.
Hey, guys, Tio, we gotta get down, buddy.
I want to see somebody.
Too many shots. It's work time. All the way in the back, guys. All the way in the back, Bo.
Sam, make space
It's
for
work
him.
time, y'all. It's work time. It's work time, y'all. It's work time. First row. First row in the middle, please. Let's look at first row in the middle. Y'all ready for this?
Yes, sir.
Y'all got your hot sauce? Can't wait. Y'all got your hot sauce? Can't wait. All right, we're in the spirit. Yep. All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Nice job, boys.
Go. Go, John, baby.
Hang tight, hang tight. Good to see you.
I guess we'll have it back.
Okay, press people, we're going to have, they're going to go to the live stream, and then we're going to have print media over here by the banner, please, and video, television, hold here.
Off the air, and then you can have it. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, no, we're gonna come on in the back. Come on in the back. Come in the back.
All right, if you're taking video, start lining up over here.
Okay.
Yeah. Video right here. It's only going to be 2 from your place on the stage. Someone holding the camera, someone asking the questions. If you can do it with 1, even better. Great. Right here, guys. Thanks. I need the line to go this way, though. Because we're going to put writers over here.
This is
writers
on TV,
over here,
right,
no
Sam?
video. What?
TV?
Yeah, this is all our camera people.
Okay.
Chris, can you man this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's just lining up. I'm not sure. He's just lining up TVs. Can you tell me how many we bring up? Yes. Don't worry. How many we bring up with these guys at a time?
Where are the top all right, one person's coming up, not three people. Whoever has the video camera, one person, not all. Who are you guys all with? I need one.
I'm alone. Solo.
Jump in here. Jump on this line here. All TV on this side, please.
All these extra phones aren't happening today. We know the boxing press. If you're not with the boxing press, you're not. We got to watch the. They don't want a lot of people on the thing.
And we're going to bring the fighter to the banner, correct?
Yes.
Well, you got.
Yeah, we got to get out of the way of this media. The media's going to be here.
Yep. Go ahead. Yep.
One. You guys listen to Sam, please. One line.
So Kelly.
One person per, except for, look, we're not having a lot of people on the stage, so we got to be very strict.
As usual. As usual, you do 3, 4 at a time.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. I just don't want to look at you.
Okay. You take the banner, I'll take this, okay?
Okay. The banner.
Yeah, you take the fighter over there and make sure it's copacetic.
Michael.
Anybody else you're interested in? Derek James or?
Just the two fighters.
Oh, that's okay. I'm trying to figure out. So we're just waiting for the fighters to finish interview with Luke and Brian over there for our live coverage. And Terence will come up first.
Terence first?
Yeah.
No, what I'm gonna do? I got it. What time do you? Well, I'm gonna see how this goes because I'm gonna use mine. I just need.
Hit the press.
How long? Probably about 5 minutes. Yep. We're gonna get Terence first.
Okay.
Where's your
right.
camera?
All right, who we got?
He's with me. He's my camera.
Okay. We got you. I got this. Where are you? You're over there by the bench.
I'm saying bring them
You
up.
hold your position on this.
And they're done it. I've done this for 20 years.
Yeah, because Custer skipped it. He must have read your mind.
Michael.
So guys, as Kelly asked, just keep with like the buddy system if you can. Your talent and camera together, please.
Yeah.
I don't have to yell at Dan Kenobi. Link up. Link up. Then you got Jared, he's holding it down. Yep. Brian's here. Ryan's here. Tony's here. What's up, boys?
Derek.
Brian, no Denver for you?
Gonna be down at the step 3 defense.
Are you at the Floyd Mosley?
Mahoney. That's my boy. I'm in.
What's up, man?
Yes, ma'am.
She's in the city.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Good to see you, bro.
I'll grab you.
Victor Ortiz. That's how. That's what we were.
Yeah, you can do some time with those guys for sure.
Chris, give me in his first profit.
What's that?
You give me in his first profit.
Came
a long way from Las Vegas.
I know you did. You were with us yesterday in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I know. We actually crossed paths at the end.
Where?
We were in the men's room. I was like,
oh,
I'm just
yeah.
going to leave him be.
Yeah.
I was changing my clothes and I was leaving. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not going to bother him now.
That's what I want.
You still have both have completed it. Yes.
he's going to demur pretty soon.
A1 is New York Post Associated Press. Tony Page from the Daily News, Brian Graham from the Guardian. They're talking right now. So I don't know if that is at all an attractive shot for you. Those guys are. Yeah.
But I mean, for Bud's schedule, is he going to just sign after this, or is he going to go right?
No, Bud is going to do TV, print, and then he's going. Yeah, he does have to do both. Okay. Yeah. 2 minutes, Kelly. 2 minutes, Kelly. 2 minutes, and they're going to wrap. Okay, you guys want to come up in position?
Yes.
Let me just get four first starters. So Raheem's 1, this gentleman is 2, Dan's 3. 1. Go ahead, Kelly. Yeah. 2. Don't get on the stairs yet. After Dan, hold up. Yep. Dan and his guy. Guys, hold up a second. Don't get on the stairs because I don't want anybody to fall. Yeah, go ahead. Yep. That's my guy. Hold up a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's your guy. Come on.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, very good. Thanks for coming. Good to see you. We might be able to fit a few more, but don't rush yet. Let me just check. See how it's shaped out. All right, sit tight.
No problem. There you go. See you.
Yeah, I seen him.
Is he still around?
Yeah, he right there.
He's in the background.
He right there.
Give us some questions, man. Come over while we wait. Let's talk to you. Come over.
Thank you.
Josh. Try to get more in the middle. Try to get more in the middle.
I've been doing for 20 years, so I just get in where I sit in.
All right, Courtney.
You like when they cooperate, right?
1, 2, 3. Come on. Thank you, Chris. Yo.
You gonna go forward? Because that might just not gonna work.
Well, I'm assuming if he comes this way, Showtime gonna do their thing, clear out, and then I'll do my thing.
I'm ready.
You're gonna come the other way.
Right here, Julie. Right here, Bob. This way. Listen, you can handle this any way you want.
We're going to do scrums, we don't realize it. So just come right in the center and be loud.
But how excited are you for this upcoming next few weeks as this comes to pass?
I'm very excited. You know, this is a fight that I've been wanting. This is a fight that the fans been wanting, and it's here now. And I'm very excited that is being made. July 29th, the fans is in for a treat.
Terrence, I think you guys should make a side bet. You've done everything else, trash talk. Errol's going to come through here. You can start it with what you think the side bet should be, then I'll go to Errol.
Side bet, man, listen.
How much? What are we doing?
Man, look. Our bet is, you know what I mean, I'm going to be victorious in becoming the welterweight champion of the world July 29th.
So tell me an extra mil, okay?
You had a lot of back and forth going on there. It came out like really natural. It seems like you're actually having a little bit of fun with it. How much are you really enjoying this moment leading up to the fight?
Well, I'm enjoying the moment because I feel as if it took a long time for this to be here today, you know, and now this is my moment to enjoy it while it lasts.
So you're able to like step back a little bit from all this hype and everything to enjoy it in the moment, or do you think?
Yeah, well, both. You know, I enjoy it. I experienced it before. I love it. I love the seesaw effect of it, and that just makes for an exciting fight. You know, you got two great fighters fighting for welterweight supremacy, for all the marbles, for all the belts, for undisputed pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So what can I say? It's going to be a great event.
Terence, what do you make of Spence's body shots and his jab? That seems to be, you know, two of the attributes people point out a lot why they think he can win the fight. What do you make of those attributes?
Well, they're great attributes. You know, he's a great body puncher. He got a great jab, one of the best jabs in boxing. You know, but myself, I got one of the best jabs in boxing. I throw great body shots as well. So, you know, like I said, that's going to make for an exciting fight. You know, you got one fighter that's all people say is he's big, he's strong, he wears his fighters down, he goes to the body, he breaks them down, and you got another fighter where you say he can make adjustments on the fly, he's fast, he punch hard, he's elusive, he's smart. Who's going to win?
You know,
that's why you tune in.
His Duncan Garnett comparison, what it was really about, he was saying is, you're more athletic, you're more talented, but he's more fundamentally sound. The way he concedes that you're the more athletic, faster guy, do you concede he is the more fundamentally sound fighter?
No, I don't think that he's more fundamentally sound because, you know, anything that he can do, I can do the same. You know, so I wouldn't say that.
Terrence, you're the air quotes B-side, but you're also the favorite. You don't often see that in boxing. Do you feel like this is a time now where you can prove that you're not just a top fighter, but a draw financially? You're an A-side fighter and a marquee draw.
Of course, you know, people know the real. You got a lot of people out there that say foolishness things because they don't know nothing about boxing or they just new to boxing, so they piggyback off of what somebody said that they feel know what they talking about. So sometimes, you know, they may say something and then it get a domino effect and get a lot of people to hop on the hype train. But for me, my objective is to keep doing what I'm doing. And it's a reason why the betting favorites is in my favor right now.
This is a new chapter in your career.
So the rematch takes place, would it be a 147 or a 154?
I don't know. Hopefully, you know what I mean, that wouldn't be anything that I have to be discussing. You know, I don't plan on losing, so, you know, that's something that will be discussed with him and his team.
With fighters like this, the margin of talent is so thin. You guys are both excellent fighters, but you talk about breaking each other. What do you see in Errol Spence that makes you think you can break him?
Well, like I said, you know, he's training hard. I'm training hard. What do he see in me to make him feel as if he can break me? That's what I should ask him, you know, but we will find out July 29th.
What are the differences between you? Financially, mentally, physically?
It's going to be mentally. You know, the mentally toughest fighter, July 29th, is going to win.
Crawford, you already had two face-offs, obviously in LA, here in New York. What can you sense when you see him in his eyes? You know, at the end, you'll shake hands, but what can you sense when you're just staring straight in his eyes?
Really nothing. You know, he's ready just like he know I'm ready.
That's why it's mutual respect, and we both know that this may be the toughest fight of both our career. You know, and that's why it's a mutual respect there. You know, but come fight night, we're gonna try to kill each other.
A lot of people say that you're
a two-division world, undisputed world champion.
Oh man, I think about it all the time. You know, sometimes I try not to think about it because it's a lot on my brain. You know, but at the same time, this is what I signed up for, and this is my dreams. This is my goal. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all for. So July 29th, when my hand is rose, it's a job well done.
Terrence, they say
people say that you're
one of the biggest things in your career everybody talks about is your ability to switch from southpaw to orthodox. Predominantly, you switch to southpaw and you dominate your opponents once you fill them out. You start off orthodox. Him being a natural southpaw, how do you address this fight when it comes to that? Are you going to start off south orthodox?
I don't know. You know, Errol's a different fighter. I fight every fight different. You know, so come fight night, we'll see what I'm most comfortable with.
Now, when people say the southpaw, what gives you the advantage when you switch to southpaw? What is it about the southpaw stance that gives you such a big advantage?
It just depends on the fighter. You know, sometimes southpaw is not the advantage. Sometimes orthodox is. So we shall see.
Terrence, can you really be as good?
Down over here for questions. Yeah. Thanks.
What are some of your favorite welterweight fights of all time?
You got the Trinidad's, you got the De La Hoyas, you got the Mayweathers. It's hard to say.
One last chance for the bet. Come on, give me a number.
Come on, man. Let me bet you that I.
All right. How much?
There's been a lot said about resume. What fight before now has best prepared you for Spence?
I don't think none of my fights that I fought have the same style as Spence. So I can't say a particular fight, but all of them have led me to be where I am today, to be prepared for July 29th.
You guys also say this is kind of like the three-belt era returning. In that era, who do you see that is like you? If you look back at the 80s and the 90s, who's Terence Crawford in that era?
Nobody. Nobody. I feel like my style is different than any boxer.
But how long have you had your eye on him? And did you ever think this wasn't going to happen?
I've been having my eyes on Spence since 2017. When I conquered the 140 division, I knew I was moving up. And I knew he was the champion, one of the champions in the division. In 2017, when he captured his belt against Kell Brook. And I knew once I moved up, I was looking for all the champions.
Guys, just one more question here.
Terrence, do you see?
Somebody had said that. Somebody asked him if he's going to be worried about like the counter punching, and he was just like Danny Garcia's best counter puncher in the world, so he's not really necessarily worried about your counter punching. How do you feel about him kind of comparing your counter punching style to like Danny Garcia?
Well, you know that you can say me and Danny have good counter punching abilities. You know, Danny is a tremendous counter punisher, but at the same time, Danny is not a boxer. You know, Danny arms is shorter. Danny don't have the same fighting style as Terence Crawford. You know, so he can make somewhat a comparison, but me and Danny fight two different fighting styles.
Champ, you win this fight. Do you expect the rematch, or do you expect to go straight to Jamel Charlo? I know that's a fight that you want, Jamel Charlo.
However it comes. You know, what's in the contract is what's in the contract, and I honor what's in the contract.
And Terrence, lastly, man,
that's it.
Okay. Terrence, thank you. I appreciate you. How'd you do, Eddie?
I got a good shot of your last question with your mic flex.
Karan, can we come over here? Because even being behind, I don't think they can hear you. Sorry.
What up, bro? How are you, man? It's good to see you, bro. See you too.
You good? You good?
You have to get off the stage now?
No.
This is nice, but it's getting in the way.
That's fine. What are we doing then?
Radio Rock.
Hey, bro, how do you close it? Oh, yeah, just like that.
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
What's that?
You're going to do handheld. It's easier. Yeah. It's 20 people. Yeah, do what you can do. Even if I actually use it like this, I think
Where's he from? What is it? Like bringing space over there?
Try to just be like,
Easy.
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be like this, and I'll just flip it. Okay.
See you later.
Look at them come down like the black time starting this and
It's a good shot.
I was watching you.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt your pain.
Started
burning.
Oh yeah. I messed up and lost my tripod in LA, so I had to suck it up. It's on me, you know. Yeah. What's up, Dan? How you doing? Thank you, brother. Thank you. Trying.
When it starts,
It's good to be home.
People's arms are your way.
Yeah, originally.
Just do what you can.
Vegas most of my time.
We'll migrate to Vegas.
Yeah. In this business.
Life. We'll end up in the desert.
Errol Spence.
All right, cool. Just start asking Kenny questions.
Hey!
There we go. Errol.
Terence.
Just first, I'm going to leave this point that you don't got the black ups on. But when you look at Crawford, man. I mean, he's supposed to be the toughest fighter of your career, but how do you kind of prepare for a guy like that? And is there somebody that you fought already that kind of maybe mimics his style a little bit, or not really?
Not really. I mean, when you get into fights like this, and the guy with his caliber and, you know, just how he is and how he fights, you know, you're not going to find anybody who fights like him. You know, it's like finding somebody who fights Tom Hearns or vice versa. So, you know, I feel like that's how greatness shows. And on fight night, of course, I'm not going to get anybody to mimic him, but, you know, I feel like that's when my greatness will come out. You know, and his greatness come out, we clash together, and we put on a great show. And I feel like people going to talk about this fight 40, 50 years from now, and just like how we talk about Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns, people going to talk about this fight. And you're going to have little kids and little amateur kids watching this fight. Like, man, I want to be in a fight like that. That's how I was when I was a kid. So hopefully we have the same people 40, 50 years from now. I'm an old man. They talking about they want to be like Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. They want to have a fight like that, and they want to get back to those type of days.
So Terence, he was interested in a side bet, but he wouldn't give an absolute price. He left it up to you. Make a little side wager on the fight. You see Ryan and Tank do it, but they didn't actually do it. So, you ready to set the price for this little side bet here?
We did have a side bet, but, you know, to be 100% honest, I gave him that when we was in negotiations to make the fight happen.
How much we talking here?
A lot more than our first bet.
What was the first bet?
Y'all know, y'all seen the video.
$1 million. Okay, so this one's bigger than $1 million. The side bet you guys made in negotiations.
Nah, it wasn't no side bet negotiation. I'm saying to make the fight happen, I gave him a lot more than the side bet. So
will there be a side bet on top of the negotiations?
No, because I gave him a lot more to make the fight happen.
I got you now.
Errol, you show a lot of respect. Tell us about why.
Because, you know, he's a great fighter. And, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm the truth, so I feel like I'm a truthful guy. And, you know, it's no knock to me. If he's a great fighter, I'm going to call somebody a great fighter. And I'm not going to diminish somebody and be like, man, you suck or you not good. Like, I'm going to give you your credit when credit is due. So,
Errol, you talk about body shots. You were talking about breaking them down. You're one of the best body punchers in the sport. How important is that in this type of fight, fighting a smaller fighter, albeit all-time great fighter?
It's always, to me, it's always important breaking the body down and going to the body first, because I feel like, you know, you break the body down, you know, everything else will fall into place. So for me, that's always been my style to, you know, go to the body, then work the head. I mean, because the head is a smaller target than the body.
Errol, you always know that you're
just the jab.
do you feel as though Crawford is not everybody at welterweight, but do you feel like that's a little bit overblown? Because you keep telling them you haven't really fought anybody, so do you kind of take that with a grain of salt?
A little bit. I mean, yeah, he stopped everybody, but you know, I'm not those people that he stopped. I feel like I'm a way better caliber than the guys that he fought. So
how long have you had Chris Algieri?
We got to move down a little
Chris
bit.
Algieri a message
Give me
to
1
Chris.
second, Dan.
Huh?
Give a message for Chris Algieri. I host a show with him.
Oh, yeah?
He said you're the Terminator.
I was telling Chris Algieri, what's up? Hope we doing well, man. He cooked good too, man. I wish I cooked like him.
Not having a recognizable promoter can hurt you with the casual fans in regards to the fight.
Hang on there, Eddie.
Nah, not at all, not at all. I feel like, you know, with social media and, you know, and everything that's going on, you know, you can promote yourself. It's you got too much stuff, TikTok, you got Instagram, YouTube, you got everything you can log on to promote yourself. It's really, if you want to be, you know, that type of guy. So I'm not the guy that just be on YouTube and, you know, post stuff all the time. Once I fight, I'm gone, I'm disappear. I got to go.
Black up.
Speaking of which, how long have you had?
Is this the
How long
most
have you had
mutual
your
respect you've had in it for an opponent?
Huh?
Is this the most mutual respect that you've had for an opponent coming into a fight?
Nah. I respect, you know, most of my opponents. So this is not the most. I definitely got a lot of respect for them, but you know, I had a lot of respect for Sean Porter and the Raquel Brook and the rest of those guys. It's just, you know, when you get on stage with somebody and he talking trash, you know, it's just natural for me to talk back. You know, I'm not a guy to talk too much, but when somebody talking to me, I'm gonna talk back to you. You know, so you know, but it is a respect there, but it's not overly blown. Because once the bell rings, the respect goes out the door.
You said he's had his eye on you since 2017. How long have you had your eye on him, and did you think this would ever happen?
I had my eye on him once I got the third belt. You know, that was my chance. This is my chance to get the fourth belt, so that's when I had my eye on him. But I ain't had my eye on him in 2017.
Hey, Errol, predominantly is he switches. One of the biggest things with him is that he switches from southpaw to orthodox. You are naturally a southpaw. How do you prepare for that, and what gives you such an advantage being a southpaw in this fight?
I want to ask you why you switch.
Switch what?
You know why you switch, and what happened to, what is that thing Terence Crawford fought on?
BOK Prime?
Yeah. What happened?
It ain't happening right now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hey, you were so Errol Spence, then you once Terence Crawford got with BOK Prime, you flipped.
Hey, Errol, people just like the SWAT team.
Your reach is going to be a huge advantage come fight night, because obviously we can see that, you know, we're doing the face off. You're a little bit taller than him, and a lot of critics say that that's one of the keys to victory due to that.
Nah, I just feel like, you know, it's gonna be a lot of adjustments in fights. I feel like the fight gonna, you know, switch, and you know, it's gonna be back and forth, momentum switches and things like that. That's what you get with great fighters, but I feel like I'm just gonna put on a great performance. I feel like the size wouldn't matter, because, you know, he looks like, you know, he's right on weight and he's right there. So, you know, people will see we'll probably be, you know, the same size once fight week. So,
After the FaceTime conversation, did you guys realize that no one was ducking each other and that it was an easier fight to make?
Nah, it definitely wasn't an easy fight to make after talking to each other, but you know, it just, you know, when once you just pride and other things gotta get put to the side for the bigger objective, for things to happen. So basically talking to each other and just, you know, hearing the stuff that he wanted and that he needed. You know, I'm a very, you know, rational guy and understanding dude too. I understood, you know, the stuff that, you know, that he wanted and the stuff that he was asking for. You know, and I couldn't knock him forward, so I was just like, you know, some of the stuff, you know, I just, you know, put my pride down and just, you know, let him have it.
Errol, Adrian Broner recently obviously he picked you to win the fight, and he reflected back on when you guys sparred, and he said, "And are we making too much about your size and strength, and not, or maybe overlooking the stuff Adrian's talking about?"
Yeah, a little bit, but I think it's just gonna come with just my skill set. I feel like my skill set and my ability is gonna really show this fight, and it's not gonna be too much about talent. It's gonna be a lot of nutrition. It's gonna be
one more question.
With you starting
Errol, you're basically like a sports team. Like both of y'all, people follow y'all like sports teams. Does that like have some added pressure that people are going to be like emotionally affected by the winner and the loser of this fight?
I feel like that's why it's so great, because people definitely gonna be emotionally affected, and people gonna definitely get their emotions in, and people making it, a lot of people make it, especially on social media, they make it way more personal than
families are breaking up over y'all too, man.
They make it more personal than what it should be.
Is that more pressure for you guys?
Oh, nah, not at all. Nah. That's when greatness happens, man. That's why this is a great fight, because people emotions are in it, and when you got a great fight like this or anything, a great event like this, people gonna get emotional about it. So that's why it's great.
Errol, let him move down a little bit more, guys.
Hold on. Say something. You do one more question.
For me?
Yeah.
I was actually about the southpaw stance. You being predominantly a natural southpaw, him being a fighter that switches from orthodox to southpaw.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for that, and what gives a southpaw such an advantage in the ring?
Well, back then people used to think it gives southpaw a lot of advantage in the ring because people weren't used to fighting southpaws. And I think that was kind of more old school than anything, because I know probably 50 years ago, whatever, if you were southpaw, they'll change you to orthodox. If you wrote with your left hand, they'll make you write with your right hand just because they thought something wrong with left-handed people. So I feel like it wasn't really that many southpaws, so people didn't really see southpaws a lot. But, with me, I feel like I spar a lot of southpaws in the gym. I didn't fought a lot of southpaws in the amateurs. One tournament I done had like 4 or 5 southpaws in a row, so I seen a lot of southpaws. I know he switched. It's just me I just got to stay focused and realize, when he switched and when he don't switch, because you can get caught in lapses and you get hit with a straight left or you hit with a straight right just because you didn't notice that he switched the stance. So I just got to be on point. I know for him it's natural, him switching back and forth.
Errol, just to follow up on that, because when he turns southpaw, it takes away the other guy's jab. They're orthodox, and you're looked at as having the better jab. Is that going to be a big issue for him? Because you're southpaw too, and he doesn't get that angle when he switches like he normally does.
It might be. We'll see, man. We'll see.
You guys based on when you
147, because I know they asked you about a potential fight with Canelo, possibly at the AT&T Stadium. How long more do you think you stay away from that this fight with
How you doing?
We got one.
How you doing?
Definitely way more difficult. A lot of stuff didn't occur during that time, so I can see why I'm probably not to be the favorite. But it's gonna be definitely a difficult fight. That's why I'm gonna have to be focused and I'm gonna have to be on point, throughout the whole fight.
It's been said that sometimes the opponent across the ring is not as difficult as the one internally. What do you have to overcome internally to bring the best Errol Spence to the ring on July 29th?
I feel like, internally that's your toughest opponent throughout your whole life. That's going to be your toughest opponent ever. So, for me, internally I just got to stay focused. Just stay focused. Stay 100% focused. And don't lose focus, because even in the later round, you can get caught with a good shot just because you lose focus for a split second. So I feel like that's what makes the great fighters great, because they always focus and they always on point, and they never had empty lapses where they lost focus and then something happens.
You talk about this layoff being more rest and not having to be recovery, and then Crawford's resume not being as difficult as yours, is there a disadvantage for you in the kind of fights you've been in, the toughest kind of opponents you've had, and the injuries to now be facing a maybe fresher Terence Crawford?
Not really. I mean, I didn't been through a lot and still, persevered. So, I feel like it's just another story, and they just add to, might have a feature movie, in place in the future, So, we'll see. But, for me, it's just about just being focused, keep being hungry, and keep training and listening to my coach and just making sure that I'm on point 100% so I can give, the fans what they paid for and give everybody what they paid for and show my greatness come July 29th.
Last time a lot of people doubted you might have been Mikey Garcia. And in this fight, obviously, you're the underdog. What do you intend to do on the 29th to prove those people wrong, and where have they made their mistake like they made it with Mikey Garcia?
I don't know. It's going to go back and forth just because, I'm fighting another great fighter. So it has to go back and forth. And, that's why this fight's so great because, 1 week they saying this, the next week they saying that. They see us at the press conference, now they changing it around. So it's always gonna change because this how great this fight is and this how even people think it is that, you get swings and different changes of how the fight's gonna play out. So I feel like that's why it's gonna be so great because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Crawford says he's been visualizing this fight for years. When you visualize it, how does it play out?
It play out me just, breaking, mentally, physically, damn near spiritually. Just, me just breaking his will. Hopefully, I don't break his face too bad and just, come out with the victory.
Champ, what do you think is the biggest difference maker in this? Errol Spence, Terence Crawford's been saying that he made this fight happen. Who made the fight happen?
It definitely was me. Because I made concessions to make the fight happen, and it was basically my decision that the fight was gonna happen because basically even we had the bet 5 years ago, I gave them that and some, to make this fight happen. So, and a lot of the people who on the business side of it didn't think that I was gonna make that concession, but I did, and that was the deciding factor to make the fight happen.
So if it wasn't for you, the fight wouldn't have happened?
Definitely, but we're here now, and I feel like, it wasn't for me to make the fight happen, but it was definitely a group effort, us getting on FaceTime, us talking it out, and basically putting our pride down and dropping our egos and, just making this fight happen for the fans. And we made this fight happen for the fans. The fans got to, show why there is a reward in taking risks and, the best fighting the best and, getting back to everybody fighting each other and make great fight happen. So,
final question from over here was about 42 years ago that Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns fought in one of the greatest welterweight fights of all time, maybe the greatest one. Is this going to be a classic just like that?
I think it's going to be a classic. I think, he's definitely coming to fight. I'm coming to fight. If you see, his mentality, and you see him fight, he put on great performances. He has no nonsense mentality. He always fighting back. And you push, he gonna push harder. So I think that's a recipe for a great fight. And you can't get nothing less but a great fight.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Champ.
Hey, Errol. Fans said that this fight might start too late. I figured the other way. Do you feel the same thing, that this is actually the perfect time for this fight to take place as opposed to being too long?
It's definitely the perfect time because if this fight would have happened 5 years ago, what we would have fought for. People glamour over the title so much, so I would have fought for the WBO. I had the IBF, he had the WBO. I'm more experienced now, and you know, it's just a recipe for a great fight.
A lot's been made of negotiations. What was the split you guys decided on?
I don't know. That ain't in the news yet. I'm not the person to tell you.
Champ, what do you think will be the biggest difference maker in this fight? Is it your jab, your defense, your ring IQ? What separates you?
I feel like it's gonna be a multitude of everything. I mean, it's gonna be ingredients of everything in. It's gonna be the jab. It's gonna be ring IQ. It's gonna be fundamentals. It's gonna be who can stay focused. It's gonna be award nutrition. It's gonna be everything coming together. And I feel like the best fighter is gonna win. Whoever can just stay focused and who can endure and who's gonna be ready to put it all on the line when they have to.
Champ, you haven't fought in over a year. Do you think the ring layup will play a factor in this fight?
Man, I don't think so. I mean, I've been through worse and haven't fought. It was like the car crash and eye injury and other stuff that was going on, personally. So I just feel like it just made for a better sword. So.
You mentioned the sanctioning fees for the belt. I don't know if you're aware, but you'll be fighting for the Vacant Ring Magazine welterweight championship. What are your thoughts on that? And who is your favorite?
I don't think the Ring Magazine takes sanctioning fees.
No, they don't.
Yeah, so that's cool. But
my thoughts on winning it.
Oh yeah, that's dope. I mean, that's a prestigious belt. You see all the greats wear the Ring Magazine belt. All the guys that I looked up to and all the guys that I watched as a kid. So to get that belt, that would mean everything for me, just to be, with the same guys who had that belt. So I mean, that'd be great.
Who's your favorite 147 pounder of all time?
Didn't happen.
I don't really have. Well, Terry Norris was my favorite, but he was 154. So I like Mike McCullum. I like Donna Curry.
Texas, Jamaica.
Yeah, I like Donna Curry. I guess if I say Ray, I'd probably say Ray Leonard.
One other question here, guys. I know there's a two-way rematch clause. The rematch clause is at 154.
I don't know, man. You sure do ask a lot on the business side.
One more question. What's a past fight that you've had that prepares you best for Crawford?
You said what?
What past fight have you had that prepares you the best for Crawford?
I would say, all of them, because I feel like, he can box. Just like Kell Brook, he can bang, he can bang like Sean Porter can bang, he can fight, he has power, he has speed. So for me, I feel like all the fights, gave me the experience that I need to come out with this victory, because it's going to be tough, it's going to be grueling, and I think it's going to lead to just, war nutrition, just lead to, who wants it more, rather than, the talent, the skills, and the ability.
Lastly, he says he's been here before, but you're the pay-per-view fighter who's been on this stage many more times than him, has been a draw more times than him. What does that give you in the fight that maybe he hasn't seen before, or is it ready to expect?
I don't think, yeah, he been here before, but he hasn't been with, the top caliber, opponents that I've been with, at that stage of their career. The guys I fought, they were champions when I beat them. The guys, it was kind of, he was having trouble making weight, way before he fought him. So, I mean, you can give him credit for that if you want to, at Kell Brook, or for Sean Porter, who, if you looked at, I think he fought Sebastian before me. You looked at that fight, Sean Porter versus Sebastian. That was not an impressive fight at all in Sean Porter's show, and he looked bad. So You know,
Errol,
he does have the skills and the talent.
You've been seeing
great fighters on
guys
the
like Brian
You've
been seeing a big trainer like Brian Sabello and young hungry lions like that. How do you feel it's upping your game for a fight going against Terence Crawford?
Oh, it's great, man. You gotta have young guys who are super hungry and coming to fight. 'Cause with the young guys, they don't spar like sparring partners. They're hungry. They're ambitious too. They want to be world champions. So they're gonna show you something different, and you hit them, they're gonna hit you back. They're gonna bring a younger aspect. They got something to prove.
With everything that happened over the past few years, given the accident, your eye surgery and stuff like that, how do you feel this type of Spence is currently now as a fighter versus your before the accident, before that surgery?
I feel great. Of course, I'm not gonna be the same Errol Spence, but I feel good. I feel great. My ability's been good. Showing great wins. After my Crawford, after my eye injury. So we're gonna keep adding to the story, and coming out victorious every time.
Great welterweights in the 80s.
One last question from here.
Errol, what made you want to call up the sanctioning bodies today as opposed to during fight week, when maybe media presence would be a little bit more?
People gotta be held accountable. Where stuff coming from, where stuff going. And if the boxers get held accountable for stuff, other people should be held accountable too, and just knowing where is everything going to and what's it for, and you doing this, you doing that, but you saying it, but how do we know? So I feel like it should be different stuff for athletes. There's no retirement for athletes. It's basically great insurance for athletes, and they out here risking their lives. Losing brain cells and, basically doing something that's not really natural, getting hit in the head, and, it's nothing to benefit them. It's just like the guy, what's the guy name in Florida?
Pritchard Cologne.
Yeah, just like Pritchard Cologne, who's taking care of him? Who, is he getting help from boxing, or is he getting help from, these other sanctioned bodies and things like that? You hear about all these Hall of Fame fighters, and 99% of these guys, the guys we look up to, the guys we talk about, they're broke. And, they got to take accountability. They ain't do right with their money, but giving a 20-some-year-old guy all this money, what you think you're going to do with it, especially when they don't have people telling them or have people, showing them and giving them classes about how they should be, handling their money, controlling their money. I mean, you give a 23, 24-year-old guy money who ain't never been to college, never had nothing, you give him all this money, what you think, he gonna do with it? I was almost, that tragic story, having my, buying Ferraris, and, that was just the tip of the iceberg, because, I was gonna buy other stuff, so, that was like a blessing. That was like a blessing in disguise that, that happened, because that really sat me down and made me think about, man, I'm not indestructible, and this life can end in a second, and boxing could be over with. I need to think about the future and not about right now. So I think that's where a lot of fighters need to think about. We need to have classes where these, promoters and managers make these boxers go to. So, at least you can say, you try to tell them, or you try to get them in there. Not everybody gonna listen, but we need fighters, like Andre Ward and fighters like Floyd, just to, tell these fighters and show these fighters that, and just tell them, man, y'all gotta do more with your money. Y'all can't just be buying all this crazy stuff, because all this material stuff is gonna go, and you got family, and if you can't live how you live while you was boxing, then you're not doing something right. You should be thinking, hey man, I'm trying to after I box, I still gotta live 40, 50 more years, God willing. So what you gonna do? Get a job? You making millions of dollars right now. You can be using that to invest in different things. So for me, I just want to tell everybody just to be, especially the boxers, just to be conscious of that. just be conscious of the money you make, because it's a blessing right now, but that's why you got guys 40 years old, 45 years old, 50-something years old, you know, still fighting today and, you know, trying to make $1 because, you know, they don't have the means now. They're not making the money they was making when they was 20, 30 years old.
Errol, thank you, guys. We got to wrap it up. We got to go.
Thank you, Errol. Thank you.
He's got one.
Right outside.
Hey, what's up, Joel? How you doing, brother?
I'm
Good to
doing
see
good,
you.
man. Good seeing you.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And that, you can't do when there's still a window or two potential behind the line back.
Yeah.
You know, put him just open fire, you know, but you know, and there's some sniping back and forth, and it's fine. But no one said or did anything which sort of burned any bridges.
I'm Olivia, by the way. I always
What was your name? This year, in this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven.
Thank you.
Won't take up too much time, brother.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
All right, FightHype.com here with the head honcho, my man Steven Espinoza, in his stomping grounds in New York City. You know, Ryan and Tank did amazing. How amazing do you think this fight's going to perform?
Look, I think it's got the potential to be up there. Look, it's hard to match the social media reach and impact that Tank and Ryan brought to the table. But, you know, this fight has all the makings. I mean, there's not a storyline, there's not an element that's missing here. Two of the best fighters in the sport, history, legacy, personal rivalry, all the ingredients to have a breakout sport, so like a breakout event. So I really think that this, you know, I'm not setting any bars, but I'm not worried about what the pay-per-view does, because if you're a boxing fan in any casual way, in any minimal way, let alone the hardcore, this is a can't miss. If you're at all interested in boxing, this is one fight that you have to watch.
Is this a year, 2023, with the fights you've been able to make on Showtime, where we got to give you and Al Heyman your flowers kind of thing? Is it, you know, and also the critics would say, did you only make all these great fights because your back was against the wall, kind of behind the scenes? You know, there's speculation.
Yeah.
No one really knows. But
right.
What do you say?
Yeah, I would say this. Look, I'll leave it to others to, you know, who to give flowers to. But I think objectively, you know, I've been in and around the sport for over 20 years. This is as good a year as any network has ever had, in terms of what we've been able to commit. We're not done yet. Yeah, and I've heard it. You know, you know, the silly conspiracy theories. You know, the reality is, you know, we were trying to make Spence Crawford last summer. We were trying to make Benavidez plant last summer. You know, we've been working on, you know, these fights. It just sometimes happens. There's a little bit of luck about when they come together. The other element is these things tend to snowball.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always thought, you know, bad fights lead to more bad fights, and by the same token, good fights lead to more. And I'm not saying that, you know, that Errol and Terence looked at anything else and said, look, they're doing big fights, I have to too. But there is a little bit of that fear of missing out. And it's sort of like, you know, you're sitting at home and there's big fights happening. These guys are competitive. So if that provided an extra 2% of incentive to get it done, you know, that's where it is. But, you know, if I could space out, you know, fights that, you know, that per my own like needs or the company's needs, you know, that would be in some ways a great thing. Like I can save all the good fights when my contract is up and get a big raise. That's not how the sport works. No one really can facilitate when these fights happen. They happen on their own time.
And again, you know, on the speculative stuff, how much different is the makeup of this deal than it was from the original one last year? And there's some speculation that because they got to take an upside of pay-per-view, that Ryan and Tank performed so strongly, and then that kind of lets you guys, is a stronger pitch at that point. Like, hey, look at all this money you can make.
The deal isn't that much different. What I would say is it's a very similar structure. No like huge changes.
Like basically, did Crawford get a sweeter deal by home?
No, I think what it was is when we came together after the disappointment last fall. You know, that disappointment was a real motivating factor. You know, all of us left a really sour taste in everyone's mouth. So when we came together, everyone sort of pushed another 5 or 10% past the level of comfort. So it's sort of like everyone went to the edge of their comfort level and said, look, I can't go further. It didn't happen. We came back together and everyone gave another 5 or 10%. All sides did. So that everybody's a little uncomfortable with the deal. Like everyone is giving up some things that they wanted. And I think in terms of the financials, actually, I think we were well enough down the line. We certainly had the financials settled well before Tank. So it's an interesting theory, and I see why people would say that.
Right.
But one of our initial, there was a rumor floating around, and it had some truth. There was like 3 or 4 weeks before the Tank fight, an idea that maybe we could get it done and announce it for Tank, because we were already really done at that point. Turned out the last couple things took a little bit longer, so it didn't happen. But look, if anything, the financials were already done at that point. Maybe Tank and Ryan provides a little bit of comfort that the people who made this deal, they were slept a little bit better afterwards.
And just for you personally, Steven, you're very professional in these matters, but being that Errol Spence is the guy you brought up, you helped groom him to this level, when you sit in your seat July 29th, this part of you can't help but root for him in the fight? Not that you dislike Crawford,
No. Absolutely. Look, there's, certainly I know Errol, a lot better than Crawford. But what I try to do more than anything is root for a good fight. I mean, obviously there are some fighters that are closer to than others, and some that I have my favorites as a fan. But the reality is, what I'm rooting for mainly on the fights that I'm working at is, I really don't have the mental capacity to root because there's so much else going on.
Business.
It's sort of like, making sure the pay-per-view's on track, the show is on track. And just making sure all those things are there. When I'm at a fight, if I go to Wilder Fury 2 or 3, I'm rooting for Deontay Wilder. We did 13 fights with him, but it's tough. That's sort of bottom of the list in terms of like where I spent my mental energy on these
for
fights.
Such a good fight, the pay-per-view does better in the rematch than it even does the first time, right?
I think this is there's a fantastic opportunity, for the sport overall to grow. I think it's a really healthy place. I think there was concern a while back that, there was too much emphasis on the influencer fights, and that was growing. And I think what we've seen is these are not mutually exclusive. You can have that part of the business flourishing and have these big fights doing as well as we ever have in history as well.
Last one for me, Steven. We talked so much about Crawford Spence, almost forgot this. Please give it to me as much depth as you can on this one. Canelo Charlo. What's the chances that happens? Are you feeling like we get that fight on Showtime this year?
Look, I'm really encouraged by the fact that there have been discussions. I hesitate to get too excited because Canelo's doing and his team are doing what smart people would do. They're taking a tour and evaluating all the options, whether it was Bivol, whether it was Benavidez, Badu, Jack, Charlo. I'm glad that Charlo and Benavidez are in that conversation. Selfishly again, because I think those are, as a fan, the two fights I want to see most. But I wouldn't. It's hard to take anything as too momentous at this point because they're clearly in the early stages of trying to figure out which direction they're going. But it is encouraging that there's some really enticing options.
It's in play, maybe.
It's in play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steven.
You got it.
Thanks, brother.
You got
good catching up.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Olivia.
No problem.
It'll take a little longer, but. And I'm really looking forward to opening that up in South Florida, probably by the end of the year. One location, but one is going to determine the franchise. And see how great it looks and how great it does.
We'll fill your franchise. You got to get back in the garden one more time.
I mean, 9 times at the Madison Square Garden, I'm playing at the top of it. Yeah, maybe at the Common. No, for real. I really want to. I asked
from ESPN put me on, and then they put Michaela Mayer, who doesn't know shit about boxing. It's like, I don't understand how you put her. Jamal Herring, I understand. He's a former Marine. Salute to him. He retired. He's good. Why can't I be there? What's so wrong about my...
What's your commentator's opinion on Spence Crawford, man? What's your commentator's opinion on what you saw today at the press conference?
Oh man, great energy from both ends. I think that this is very good for both guys. They seem very comfortable up there, but really, I think that there's some determination that Spence got on himself right now, a chip on his shoulder. Not saying that Crawford doesn't either, this means a lot on Crawford, just a punch, fighting the champion, unified world champion, Spence Crawford, and I think it's just going to be great, man. It's a 50-50 fight, but I give it Spence by a mix from what I talked about.
Why do you see that before that fight, you got a Louis versus Fulton. How did you see that fight?
I'm probably going to go to that fight.
In Japan?
Yeah, in Japan. My birthday's July 30th. I know Crawford fight's July 29th. So I kind of want to, so I kind of want to enjoy my time over there. That's a great fight, Fulton and Louis. I think Louis might will beat Fulton. Fulton